Lesson 6-4. In this lesson, you will learn to compose a series of transformations. Remember, the main idea here is that we are finding if two shapes are congruent. You will see that this is the symbol for congruent. It is an equal sign with the little squiggly on top. And shapes are congruent if you can map them using a series of translations, reflections, or rotations. Up to this point, we've only been doing one at a time. So on the additional practice handout that you've been given, I want you to look at number 6. We want to map quadrilateral ABCD to quadrilateral HIJK with a reflection across the x-axis, followed by a translation 4 units left and 2 units down. Really, we just need to follow the directions and follow them in order. So the first thing it tells us to do is do a reflection across the x-axis. So we just need to do that. So here is our quadrilateral ABCD, and we need to reflect it across the x-axis. So we want to draw our line of reflection along the x-axis. And remembering to reflect, we're going to simply count to the line of reflection and go the same distance across. So A goes 1, 2 to get there, 1, 2 beyond. And I'm going to name this A prime for this interim step. How about I go to B? B, I'll do the same thing. I'm going to go to the line of reflection and beyond. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here is my B prime. C, 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to the line of reflection. 1, 2, 3, 4 beyond. C prime. And D, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the line of reflection. 1, 2, 3, 4 beyond. D prime. Connect my dots. And there is my first step, my reflection across the x-axis. But I'm not done. I also, it says followed by a translation, 4 units left and 2 units down. So remember, it's going to look just like this one in terms of orientation, but it's just going to be slid somewhere. So I'll start with A. This time, when I'm done, I'm going to name them. Now notice here, A, B, C, D is named this way, and H, I, J, K goes in this order. So these letters correspond to the same letter that it matches up with. So as we move our A prime, it will be named H. So let's move A prime here, and then we'll call it H. So we're going to go 4 units left and 2 units down. So 1, 2, 3, 4 left, 1, 2 down, and we will name that H. Then we'll go to B, and B is supposed to be I. B is going to be becoming I, and remember we're moving our prime, we're moving our middle step. So 4 units left, 2 units down. 1, 2, 3, 4, down, 1, 2. And this again is I. C, right here, C is going to be J now. So C is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, down, 1, 2. So there is now J. And then D will become K. So my interim step was D prime. So 1, 2, 3, 4, down, 1, 2. And there is my K. If we were naming them otherwise, we would have called it D double prime. But they asked us to name it something different. And the letters correspond to the position they are in the name. So now checking, does this look like my middle step? And it is congruent to my first shape because it was mapped with a reflection and a translation, and those 2 shapes are still congruent. Let's look at our next example. We're going to look at example number 3 on that same handout. we are going to map quadrilateral A, B, C, D to quadrilateral A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime with a rotation of 180 degrees about the origin, followed by a translation 3 units left and 7 units up. So the first thing we need to do is rotate. And again, you can choose to rotate this figure by actually rotating your paper. But I want to think about what are my ordered pairs and what happens to them when I do a rotation of 180 degrees. So A currently, everything is counting by ones. So A is at 2, 6. It's in the positive quadrant. 2, 6. B is at 4, 6. 4. Sorry about that. C is at 4, 4. And D is at 2, 4. So now that I know where my original points are, I want to think, where are my points going to land? And you can turn your paper upside down and look, because 180 degrees is just turning your paper upside down. So A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, and really this is actually going to be a middle step. I might actually have to call this double prime because my final step here needs to be A prime, D, B prime, C prime, D prime. So I might call these double prime in the middle. That seems kind of weird. They asked me to name them kind of something different. So when I flip this upside down, my x and y stay the same, which means my 2 and my 6, my 4 and my 6, these numbers are going to stay the same because x and y are the same, but they're opposite signs. So instead of positive, positive, it's going to be down here in the opposite quadrant, so they're going to be negative, negative. So I'm going to have negative 2, negative 6, negative 4, negative 6, negative 4, negative 4, and negative 2, negative 4. And I do want to name them as I go. So I have negative 2, negative 6, and I'm going to name it A double prime. If I don't name them, I'm going to forget when I do my translation. B double prime is going to be negative 4, negative 6. B double prime. C double prime will be negative 4, negative 4. And that is C double prime, and D double prime is negative 2, negative 4, D double prime. I named them as I went, so I wouldn't forget what letter, because a square is a square. It's hard to tell what you've got when you're done. My line's a little high there, sorry about that. Okay, I'll use a different color here. I will use purple. And now I'm going to say followed by a translation, 3 units left and 7 units up. So I'll start here with C. I'm going to go 3 units left and 7 units up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this I will call C prime because that's what they wanted me to name it in the end. D double. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I better land close to that C. D prime. B. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, that is too long, just like this is too long, just like these are too long. And that was B prime. A, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are definitely looking congruent. And I have another square. There we go. All of my squares are congruent. They're all 2 by 2 squares. This one here has been rotated, and this one here has been translated. So this square has been rotated and translated. Let's look at our next example. Number 2. Number 2 says, triangle D prime, E prime, F prime is an image of triangle DEF after a sequence of transformation. So we started here with DEF is my beginning, and here is my prime. So this is where I started, and this is where I finished. And we have to describe a sequence of transformations that get us there. And then part B says, well, what's another way you can do it? So for starters, I'm going to look at this and try to decide what do we think has happened to get us to this place. video at this point, and I want you to think about that and then pick it back up in the second video.